Hi, I'm Don Mooers. Welcome to Montgomery Week in Review. The Civil Rights Experience Tour travels each spring throughout the South. It's sponsored by the Office of Human Rights of our Montgomery County. Jeffrey Slavin, the mayor of the town of Somerset, who just won re-election, went this spring, and he is here to describe its roots and what he learned along the tour. The primary election is June 26th. The early voting will begin on the 14th of June at 11 different sites throughout the county. Dr. Gilberto Zelaya from the Board of Elections is here to tell us all the details and to encourage us to get out early, but not often, to vote. The League of Women Voters Voter's Guide is now available throughout the county at libraries, community centers, online, and at the League office itself. Elaine Apter, co-president of the League of Maryland, will explain how it can supply you with the answers to all your election questions and why it's so important to look at it this year when we have so many candidates on the ballot. Summer is here, and Montgomery Community Media has lots of activities to occupy your lazy days of summer, especially the lazy days of summer of your kids. Tony Spearman-Leach will tell us about what we can look forward to at what I call America's best media organization. Jeffrey Slavin, who is the chairman of the board of Montgomery Community Media, in addition to all the other hats that you wear. Well, we're here, and congratulations on your re-election. Talking about the Civil Rights Tour, what an amazing experience you went into. What, the third time you've done this?
It's the third time that I've done it, and the leader of the tour, Jim Stowe, who's the director of the Office
of Civil Rights in Montgomery County.
Yes, it's just the most incredible tour, and it's not only the places that we visit, the sites, but it's also the people that we meet that tell the story, people that were actually there.
It's a lot of years. So 50 years since Martin Luther King died, was assassinated in Memphis, April 4th.
Right, and of course the RFK is coming up.
Right, June 25th.
June 6th.
June 6th, I'm sorry. June 5th, and then died on June 6th. Right. So what was it that you really got most out of this tour this year? What was so special? Was it the 50th year looking back?
There was a lot of that, the stories that people tell. And this year, for example, we got to meet live and in person Reverend C.T. Vivian, who was...
That's in Atlanta, right?
He was in Atlanta. He lives in Atlanta. And he's in his mid-90s, still as sharp as a tack. And he's almost as famous as Martin Luther King. And one of the things that you realize going there is that, yes, Martin Luther King was an incredible person in history, but it wasn't about one person. That it was a movement. It was regular people, and we get to meet on that tour with some of the regular people who were the real heroes.
Do they do the same sites every year, or are they?
He alters it a little bit, but you know, every city that you go to, and it's Greensboro, Atlanta, Montgomery, Selma, Memphis, Jackson, Little Rock, and maybe I left some, Birmingham. Right. You could spend a week or a month in every one of those cities and still not learn or meet, and so that's why I keep going back. And I hope next year all of you will go back, because it'll be next April, and I think the dates are about to be set. So,
you know, I think one of the things that people fail to remember, so much of what the Reverend King was doing was about jobs. Jobs, and that's what took him to Memphis was this. And so that whole economic component, key to it, and you know, any insights from the tour, from, you know, the different places.
Well, I would say this year that one of the things that I focused on a lot was the voting rights aspect, because, you know, Voting Rights Act of 1965 is under attack. I mean, it was already decimated by the Supreme Court a few years ago, and this year, a big election year in the country, it's a reminder that people really are suffering from not being able to vote.
So let me ask, how does someone actually find out how to sign up for the trips? This is really exciting. Or getting their
Go to the website.
Okay.
And I think that that you can sign up starting in probably December. But I'm sure that if you send a note to the director, to Mr. Stowe, he can put you on the list, because the bus fills up. and it's one bus. I guess if they got more people, they add a second bus.
And they do incredible things too, because Mr. Stowe with his division, his department, they also have a youth camp, a civil rights youth camp. And actually my son Sebastian did it last year as a 5th grader, and he came with like bright eyes and had a lot of, you know, vigor to do a lot of good things in the community, recognizing what occurred in the past and how to mobilize these youth also moving forward in the future.
Well, and hopefully some of those youth will eventually go on the tour, because really the best way to learn history is to see it firsthand. So going to the bridge,
Sure.
Yep.
in the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, going to Little Rock, to Central High School,
Sure.
those have incredible impacts on people.
Is there an age limit? Or?
No, absolutely not.
So, you know, I think having been at Auschwitz and the Holocaust Museum, never forget. It seems to me that going on the civil rights tour is something, part of that never forget, but also, isn't it it's got to be a little bit depressing as well going on this, that while we've come far, there's still
We have a long way to go.
so
yes,
much more to
yes, but it does inspire. You know, part of
Got about
what
a minute left, by the way.
part of what Mr. Stowe wants to do is to educate people so that they will go back, because not everybody that goes on the tour is from the county. It's open to anyone, and a lot of the people that go on the tour get inspired to go back to their communities and do the work, and also to learn civil rights in their own jurisdictions. I mean, you could go on a civil rights tour in Montgomery County.
Right.
You could go to the Josiah Henson
Right.
Center, the new Josiah Henson Center. You could go to black churches that have
go
incredible history.
to
Glen Echo,
go to Kengar, go to Lincoln Park, go to
Lincoln
Tobytown,
Park,
Scotland. Yes,
all those
absolutely.
places. So I think a number of people that go on the tour get inspired and have got engaged in Montgomery County, and it's really brilliant.
Well, I know that Montgomery Community Media is paying attention to this. I know you'll be continuing to
Yes,
push that as well as
definitely, all the way,
Tony,
definitely.
and I want to thank you for
Thank you.
this and
Thank
these
you very
insights, and look forward to having you come back and maybe talk a little bit about how the county's going.
Definitely,
and,
anytime.
And local government.
Anytime.
Thanks a lot. Dr. Zelaya is
are you?
in the house. Gilberto Zelaya.
Yes, thank you. How are you today?
You got to be exhausted.
I don't know, what day is it today? We're like 15 days out. Yeah.
Because you've been searching for bilingual judges.
Yes.
You're able to change the rules so that students can service the age limit has gone down.
It's to
Those who can
16.
be serving so well.
Exactly.
You got these early voting.
We have the future vote
voting.
kids. We've trained almost 1,000 students to serve as election day aides. You're going to see a lot of young millennials from the Future Vote program serving as full-fledged election judges, which is outstanding. And then also we have early voting. We have 3 new locations, two new locations for early voting, which are 11 sites. So
Right.
the sample ballot is circulating, so
Right.
please make sure that you review the sample ballots.
Let me ask you this, and no need to talk about it here because I know people have got lots of questions because this is going to be such a confusing primary. Is this? I'd love to hear during this segment some of your reflections on what we're doing to try to make elections and voting easier, because it's
Yes.
the ground, it's the foundation of democracy. While at the same time we're seeing jurisdictions around the country making it more difficult.
Yes, so
trying
I
to
know.
block people out.
So with Montgomery County, we're extremely proactive. We have this mantra. It's called provisional prevention. We want to make sure that everybody understands their voting rights, that they know how to prepare, how to review the sample ballots and mark up the sample ballots so you know exactly whom you will support. Really quick play, you have to remember that Maryland has a closed primary. So if there's a candidate out of the menu of candidates running for office, if there's an individual you want to support, please make sure that you are of that party.
And you say that what's registration deadline?
So the deadline is coming up. It's Tuesday, June 5th. So I advise individuals to go online, come to our office. You could go on our website, which I know they'll present on the screen, and we will be circling around Montgomery County this weekend to facilitate. Because our office is, if you live up county, it's close to your home. If you live down county, it's not. So we'll be circling around the county this weekend to facilitate voter registration. And we're still looking for election judges, so you'll be surprised. We always need individuals. But back to your question, we have the Future Vote program. That's the only program in the U.S. that brings youth as young as middle school, 6th grades, into the election process. In 2016, we had close to 1,100 17-year-olds serve as election judges. We also averaged about 1,000 outreach events per elections. And actually, the amount of outreach that our team does, if you add up all the counties plus Baltimore City, doesn't add up to the amount of outreach that we do. And we have fruitful efforts, and it really helps the electorate and helps the lines move quicker on election day. So I think a combination of meeting us at an outreach, the combination of the sample ballot and looking at the voters guide will help you kind of expert.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, I just wanted to let everybody know, I would be remiss if I didn't say this. As you said, the ballot is ridiculous this year. It's ridiculously long.
It's long.
If you go to mymcmedia.org,
Okay.
we have all the candidate statements for all the levels online. There are hundreds of them. So please, literally there are hundreds. If you go on the website, you can actually match up your sample ballot to the candidate's candidate statement.
You know, and that
Okay.
reminds me about the voters
Right,
guide.
and the other thing I was going to say is Maryland has a no excuse absentee
Yes,
ballot.
yes, vote by mail
so
ballot.
that's another way that makes it much easier
Exactly.
for people to get.
Maryland is very
to be able
progressive.
to
Yeah,
vote.
when you compare
Yes.
to other states, we're very progressive. You have early voting, you have no excuse, vote by mail, and you have election day. So you have a menu. I call it the cheesecake menu of elections for Maryland. So you have options. You just need to prepare. So it's important that individuals know that early voting is the 14th through the 21st of June. From 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then also election day is obviously Tuesday, June 26th, and we'll be open from 7 to 8. And so on your sample ballot, it will show you in the back where you would, go to vote on election day, but inside of the sample ballot is actually the listing of all the 11 locations. And you're not tied to your neighborhood
Right.
early voting. You could work down county and vote at Silver Spring Civic and live in Damascus. We have some locations that are not as populated because of the density. I also would advise that we have a wait time. So you could go on our website, 777vote.org, and look at the actual wait time at that particular early voting center.
That's
We have about 45
that's great.
seconds left. Any ideas on projected turnout for this
We
primary?
prepare for 100%.
Yeah.
We prepare for 100%. It's up to the electorate. So I hope all the efforts and the sleepless nights and the sacrifices that our team and our election judges provide to our voters, I hope that the voters take advantage of the opportunity to exercise their constitutional rights. Because at the end of the day, if you don't show up for the party, you'll eat crumbs.
I say this often is, if you don't participate, you don't really have a right to complain about those people who you played no role in electing or not electing.
Exactly, especially after Memorial Day. You have to understand that there's a lot of sacrifices that have occurred prior to us having the right to not to vote. I think too much it's up for grabs, and I think it's important that everybody participates in this process. And I think it's the opportunity to exercise that right.
Well, I think what we're looking at here is great work. Please pass our thanks to your team.
Pleasure.
I've been to many events around the county in these past weeks, and they're everywhere.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back after these important messages. And we're back. Elaine Apter,
Hi
welcome
there.
back.
Great to be
It's
back.
always joyful to have you on this show.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to be here and usually talking about something positive. And
And the elections are positive, right?
elections are positive, and we want everybody to feel that way.
We've never
about
had
elections.
more need for your organization at election time than I think this year. And MCM as well, as Tony mentioned earlier, with all of the candidate statements being on the website. But in the voter's guide, oh my gosh, you've got folks there. You couldn't fit everybody in, could you?
No. If we fit everybody in, it would have been 84 pages. And we're nonprofit, and it's printed, by donations.
Right.
But we did get it down to if you are not contested in an election, if you're uncontested, then your answers will be on vote411.org, which is the interactive voter's guide.
So the contested votes, the contested elections
Are all in here.
are all in here. So the best thing that people can do when getting ready for election day is what?
is to actually look at their sample ballot and see what district they're in,
Right.
just who they're going to be voting for. If you're not online, you can do that at Vote 411 too. But when you know that, then go to the voter's guide, and it's by district. So if you're
by legislative
by
district?
legislative district,
council district,
you've got the
right.
governor first and the state offices,
Right.
but then the legislative districts, it's that, and they're all together. So your Senate and your legislative
Okay, the
representatives
delegates?
will
Right.
all be together.
Okay.
So you can look at all their answers together and see what who agrees with.
But the delegates and state senators, that's a small number. When we get to the huge number, it's that
It's
county
the
council.
county council.
Wow.
Yes, 33.
33.
So just as Dr. Z said, you really want to be prepared when you go to the polls. Read the voter's guide or go online with Vote 411. Find out as much. Also on Vote 411, you will also find some of the forums and debates that we've had in MCM2 that can be streamed and kind of listen to what the candidates are saying, read what they're saying. You can call all the contact information is in Vote 411. So you can call them and say, how do you feel about this? Or, I'm
Right.
concerned about the traffic
Let me ask
in
you, where do I-
Montgomery County.
Right.
Where do I find this?
Okay, they're going to be they're at the libraries, they're at the recreation centers, the senior centers, some of the Giant has been wonderful in having us
Okay.
participate.
Good.
You can call the league office. I have delivered alone almost 1,500.
Wow.
We try to get it at the Metro just before early voting.
Okay.
We'll stand out and hand them out
So if I
at the
call,
Metro
will you
Center.
bring it to my house, Elaine? I've got coffee.
Oh, I'd love to, and we can discuss all these things. The other thing that I think is very interesting is
We've got about a minute
for
late.
every
Minute left.
office, not only do you find out who's running and their views, you find out what they do. What in the world does the controller bill? What does your county council person do, or the school board? What are
Okay.
they responsible for? So all that is in Vote 411, and it is free.
Good, good. I think that's a great resource if you match that
Yes.
up with the sample ballot.
Right, yeah,
Because then we get a
and-
lot of calls at the office, and unfortunately, we don't provide that information.
No.
And so a lot of times we get a lot of calls, and we reroute them to the league or to other resources. Now we have another resources with MCM, and those are great resources in the community to prep because it really moves the line.
Yes.
It moves the process. You're prepared. You mark up your sample ballot. You present yourself. You vote, and then you're on your way.
15 seconds left
Yeah,
in this segment.
I agree too. We don't want frustrated voters. Be prepared. Read the guide, mark your sample ballot so that when you go in, you can,
Should people vote?
oh, everybody should vote. No, yeah. Just again, it's a close primary, so if you're in a Green Party, the only people you're going to vote for is the Board of
School Board.
Thanks, Elaine.
Education.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Look forward to hearing about how it went after the
Yes.
election.
We're
Tony
doing our
Spearman-Leach, we're
best.
back here, MCM. This is Party Central this summer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, and you know what? I want everyone who has a kid out there to bring them here to Montgomery Community Media. Again, it's summer program time. We are doing, again, 2 sessions. You're going to have the June sessions and the July sessions, but we got new stuff for you.
Yeah, and it's becoming, just to prepare, or a little run up here, is it's so appropriate that it's here because we do have lots and lots of people from Montgomery County who've gone on to Hollywood, who are top news folks around the country and around the world, people who are in communications, public relations at the top of the level. So this is a key source for media throughout this country, and you all are playing your role with these kids. So tell us about some of the programs.
All right, some of the parents out there and some of the kids out there have been begging us for film. So guess what,
Okay, wait.
folks?
Which side? Which side?
So guess what? We are bringing you 2 sessions of future filmmakers. It'll be like the 48-hour film creation program.
Cool.
The kids will get in here, they'll create their film shorts. It's going to be lots of fun. I'm sure this is going to fill up. So you asked for it, we did it.
Okay.
You're gonna get to be the new George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino. Come on, make it happen.
Today Durwood, tomorrow Khan.
Yeah, absolutely.
That should be there we go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's limited to children, huh? That's no fun enough.
Of any age.
But how do we find out about it?
If you go to mymcmedia.org/training, mymcmedia.org/training, you can sign up right there. Now, we got more.
Future Filmmakers of America, FFA. Instead of the Future Farmers, it's
You got
not
it.
Filmmakers.
You got it.
What else we got?
Okay. One of our most popular classes that fills up very, very quickly is the green screen class.
Right.
And that's where the kids come in, they stand in front of the green screen, they create their videos, they create their YouTube.
And so on the green screen, they can have monsters.
They can have
coming out.
monsters,
They could be in
they got tornadoes, take them down.
the Eiffel Tower.
Whatever you
wherever they
want.
to be.
That's right. And so that is really exciting. It really fills up quickly. So I encourage parents to make sure you get out there and sign up for that one. We do have 2 sessions of that also.
Okay.
Again, June and July. And then, of course, we're bringing back backpack journalism. And that's really citizen journalism, where the youth are the editor, the journalist.
Sure.
And this is the one that you were talking about earlier. Well, we've won so many awards. We have a young lady, Jessica Thies, who actually was a winner inside of the C-SPAN competition,
Fantastic.
talking about the Constitution. She won a Telly Award this year.
Okay.
We have Michelle Chavez, who started out as a backpack journalist, who is now a news anchor. She went from here to the University of Maryland, was on C-SPAN, was on CBS television.
Right.
This has launched careers.
Right.
And so if you have kids who really want to get out there and be the investigative journalist, excuse me, County Executive Ike Leggett,
Right.
why?
What's the age group?
We will take you from middle school
Okay.
all the way up through high school.
Okay.
Do they need any prerequisites, say computer,
This is
knowledge
the-
of computers?
This
or
is the
cameras?
wonderful thing about this program. No.
Yeah.
Come here and start
Yeah, that's
fresh. And it's exciting.
Promise me you'll get one of them to finally uncover the secrets in Somerset, in the town of Somerset, because I know there's cabals going on all over the place.
One of our youth has participated in that and got quite a bit out of it.
Yeah.
So
And with the programs, the costs, what are they, or what's the average, the range?
You're looking at about $300. And I've got to say something that's important. If you are unable to afford it,
Right.
That's
we
my
have
question.
scholarships that have come from the Montgomery County Delta Alumni Foundation,
Okay.
from the Rockville Rotary,
Good.
from the Bethesda Chevy Chase Rotary. There have been a lot of people in Montgomery County's communities that have provided scholarships so that kids can attend if
Fantastic.
their family's not able to afford it.
Okay, good.
And they get from $300, they also get the product of their work.
Yes, in August we're going to be holding our first multimedia youth festival, and all of the works that have been created from all of the camps
Great.
will be presented and premiered. So we're really excited. This is a great year.
Got a little bit over 30 seconds left. What else do we need to know about MCM and all the great things going on here?
If you're a person with a passion who wants to tell your story, whether you're a youth or an adult, please come here to Montgomery Community
Elaine
Media.
Apter.
Elaine, I mean,
I'm ready.
Come here and tell your story, because that's what we're all about.
That's right.
We have so much to offer. We are your community media center, and just to let you know, with the help of Nanette Hobson, who's our CEO, and with Jeffrey Slavin, we'll be opening in Silver Spring this summer.
Looking forward to
So
that.
come on out to the opening.
Great end. Thank you so much, and thank all of you for joining me today, and thank all of you in the viewing audience for joining us for this week's edition of Montgomery Week in Review. I'm Don Mooers, and I invite you to come back again next week at this very same time.